and she didn't talk over everybody, and it was a great conversation, and I didn't talk over everybody. So there she is. Hey, I didn't know if I blocked you at some point or anything. So, oh my God, that was ridiculous.
God, I just want to have a good.
That's all I want.
I want to have a good conversation.
And we don't.
What are we talking about prior? I'm sure.
Well, I was talking about what we talked about with Carla and Paul, and because I thought that was a really interesting conversation. I'm also live over here on YouTube, guys. So if you want to come over here and watch it, you can come over here and watch it. But this way, if we get shut down over here, you can come over here and it will be up for a replay for you. It is kind of hard to hear TikTok and YouTube on the replays, so I usually post both of them if you want to hear them both. Because sometimes somebody might want to hear a conversation, both sides of it. So anyway, yeah, like that was a great conversation. And what we were talking about is, this situation with Carla and Paul is very similar to Gypsy and Nick in the surface level. Okay. Cause they did a lot. Gypsy did a little. Okay. Gypsy and Nick did a little comparatively to them. But like you said, no one death is any less tragic or any less horrible than any other. So, if it's a brutal murder, it's a brutal murder, And but Carla turned evidence against Paul, and they called it the deal with the devil because after they made their plea deal with her, she convinced everybody she didn't have anything to do with it. They found footage of her, actually participating. And that whole double jeopardy comes right into play right there. And I don't know how Canada handles it, but that here, there would have been nothing, even with the new evidence, nothing. And so answer that question real quick, Pug. If she lied, and could they retry her, or is your guys' the system the same way?
It's the same way. She wouldn't have been like right after she took that plea.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they found, the videos of her being involved. So then they knew she was more involved than what she had said. But at that point, the plea deal was already done. I guess. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't see why they couldn't have
taken it back. Yeah, they could have. They probably could have. But then they wouldn't have her testimony against him.
That's true.
Then and I think they needed it for him to be put away, because your justice system is different. Some of our states here have life be 20 to 25 years, sometimes 30. But in Canada, you said it's what, 25?
It's the same as England, which is even a bit worse than us.
Mm-hmm.
But it's 25 years. But people like Paul Bernardo, he's already gone up for appeal after his 25-year sentence, and he won't get out. There's people in England, it's called a whole life order. So like Lucy Letby, that nurse that murdered all those neonatal babies.
Right.
She was given a whole life order, and there are people, but they're just, we are not as
right.
We don't.
Hey, Kimmy.
Take crime as we should.
No, I agree with you. And so the point of this is so it's a couple doing it together. There's an element of a control factor, the whole thing. Okay. Very similar. And just, they did it more. So she turns on him. She does evidence. She gets 25 years. She gets out. Okay. 15. Ooh, I thought she got the whole life bid. No?
She got manslaughter. She's the only person in Canadian history to actually do the full 15. 15, that's it.
She said history, baby. So Carla gets out. Now, Carla could have come out and she has mental health problems. She's got all these things, okay? There's something not going right on in Carla's head. Trust me, okay? You want to leave your sister with your boyfriend for whatever? No, there's something not going okay here. Okay? So Carla got out. Did Carla hit social media or come out and talk to everybody or try to be Casey Anthony or any of those things? No. Pug, take it away. What happened with Carla?
She married her lawyer's brother. She moved to Quebec, so she had quite a lucrative family. She has 3 boys, and I'd like to say thank God she didn't have any girls. And she was allowed to, they're in a private school in Quebec. So Quebec, I'm in Ontario. Quebec's a bit different. We do have private schools here, but not really. So I don't know if it's the same in Quebec, but regardless, you have to have money to go to a private school, right?
Right.
And then they figured out who she was, but she has a something that Gypsy doesn't have.
Right.
Like, she can change her appearance. She dyed her hair. Mm-hmm. She is a pretty person. She changed her look.
She was stunning. Gypsy, I mean, she was stunning beforehand, man.
Absolutely. Gypsy is a very distinct looking person.
Yeah.
And you can take that as you will.
Right.
She can never
blend. She'd never blend. No matter how many nose jobs, face jobs, she's never going to blend. She's never going to be Mia or Nicolette. She has her own thing. She has her own thing. It's something. There's times where I think, wow, she looks like Dee Dee right there, and she's very pretty. Looks like her mom. She's very pretty. But when she looks like her, she's very ugly. I'm sorry. Because the ugly comes from the inside to the outside. My mom, my grandma, my Nana always told me, pretty is as pretty does.
I agree.
Yes.
You know what they did with that house? Because I believe it was I could be mistaken if it was a rental or not. Anywho, they tore it down, and it isn't the same.
Right.
Like, it's the same, but it's on the same corner, but they changed how they built it, so it has a different address. So it is in the same location, but it was on a corner, so they were able to change it, so they changed the address.
I think they did that with Gypsy. I think they changed the address with Gypsies, but I don't think that they did not tear it down. They rebuilt inside, they fixed things, they fixed the shed, they painted everything. It looks exactly the same. I was there. 2021, I think, was when. Oh, Pug. Okay, I know something else that you were talking about earlier that I didn't get to talk to you about. Okay, do you remember how you said about the little girl in Springfield? I might cry. That did the project on a.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so in 2021, my husband's best friend moved from California with his adopted daughter, who he rescued from a horrible life with his son's mom. He adopted the 2 children and wanted to get them away from everything, and so he moved to Springfield, Missouri with them, with his whole family. I tried to tell him over and over again. I'm like, Terry, why the hell are you going there? Why are you going there? Why are you going there? Why are you going there? What are you doing? Why are you going there? Dude, you can't go there. And he's like, it's fine. He did not understand. Okay. Literally did not understand. And so, they moved. I went out there. That's when I did some of the thing and everything and all of that. So Flash 2 is either 2023 or 2024. So it's either last year or this year. I can't remember when he did it, I think. And he contacted me because he knew I was really into Gypsy. He didn't know how into Gypsy I was or what I had done. He had no idea. It'd been documentaries, all that stuff. He just thought I talked about Gypsy on the internet. Like that was all. So he tells me that he thinks that he can get me an interview with Gypsy Rose Blanchard. I laughed and it upset him because I laughed because he didn't understand. So he goes, why are you laughing? And I said, Terry, do you have any time? Do you know how long I've talked to Gypsy Rose Blanchard her entire family? Like, dude, no. And so I'm like, honey, I don't need anything on her. And he's like, well, I'm just trying to help you. I go, you just don't, just Terry, you don't get it, you know? And I said, why in the world would you have any reason to be around Christy or Gypsy Blanchard? And his response to me was his daughter was doing a project. And I don't know if that was her project or not, but the way that she met Gypsy was because a friend of hers at school mom's friend, I believe, was inside with them. And she was in there for, I believe it was a DUI homicide. And she got the girl an interview with Gypsy Rose Blanchard. I don't know if she was in junior high or high school, but it was recently from 2021 to now. Okay. So I tell him when I'm finding out this stuff, and it had to have been last year because I was finding stuff out, and I was telling him, I begged him, I'm like, dude, is she really doing this project? Please do not let her do this project. Terry, you can't let her do this fucking project. I'm telling you, pick anything else. Go to the school, tell him to pick anything else. She cannot do this. And he's like, you're really kind of shitty about this. But I'm like, this girl has been, I said, no, would you please just go Google my name? Just go Google my name. And I hung up. Okay. It's a holiday. I go back outside. I'm miffed. I am steaming. I sit down. My husband looks at me. He goes, what is that all about? Because I do not want to talk about it. I will ruin the holiday. We're not having this conversation. We go on about our day. About 10 minutes later, he calls my husband's phone because he knows I ain't going to answer. Because I don't hang up on people. And when I hang up on you, I mean that shit. Because I believe that all the time in conversations, usually, there could be a moment that the very next thing that the person says could fix it all. And what if that's the last thing they say? I've always just felt that. I had a mom who was gone early, and I knew from 6 years old on, my mom was going to be gone. So I've always lived that way. Hanging up on me is one of the worst things that you can do because it upsets me. So he calls my husband. And he says, hey, can you put Vance on the phone? And my husband goes, dude, she don't want to fucking talk to you right now. And I am not dealing with my wife today on a holiday, buddy. So no. He goes, look, man, I really need to talk to your wife. I need to apologize. I'm very, 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 very sorry. I still have yet to see you and skip this morning. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I went back and watched it because when I do that, I don't know what I say sometimes because I'm on a roll. But yeah, he called me back and he's like, you can literally say anything you want to me right now. You can call me the biggest asshole in the world. You can for as long as you want. I had no effing idea what you've actually done in this case and who you are. And I go, Terry, I have books. And he's like, oh my God. And I said, please, 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 just please tell me that she no longer has any contact. He goes, yes, and she did not have direct contact with her. She did all of her research mostly online, and she had the one interview, and she asked the questions through the friend, and the friend's mom asked the questions. Can you imagine? I did not put this together until the other night when I was on a phone conversation with Naomi and Mac. And we were talking about how she's in our children's phones, our children's homes. And I'm sitting here thinking about Ken sitting here so nonchalantly with this.
That was weird.
I'm sitting here thinking about the 16-year-old girl that reached out to her. I'm sitting here thinking about how there's been an uptick in all of this and how it looks just like Aaron Caffey and how all of these things are disgustingly horrible. And I didn't realize I'd already brought it into my house one time. I brought that in. I shouldn't have. I could kick myself for it, but in another way, it's been an amazing ride. I can't lie. It's been an amazing ride. It's been hell, but it's been great too. I've met some good people. I have some good friends. I learned a lot of knowledge. I didn't do this because with just me doing, I thought I knew everything. No, what I did is I went out and I asked every single person that I know, including Joseph Scott Morgan and all the people's names I can drop, about this fucking case. And then I went to school to ask them about this case. Because I had all this information, but what do I know? You guys have got to understand. And here is my husband's best friend, his brother. This is the man he grew up with. And his daughter had her in her home, and we didn't even know that.
What was that kid's name? Ethan, the one that had some medical issues.
Yes.
And the mom was like pushing. I'm sorry, like I've said, I'm not a parent, but I would not let her anywhere near any of my friends' children, my pets.
And hey guys, if you want to come up on the panel, you can come up. No, Wicked. I tried to. I laid down. I went in the bathtub. I tried to lay down. It just didn't happen. And I had a really great conversation until some assholes tried to ruin it. So I'm over here on my platform again where I don't have to deal with assholes because I blocked them all because my block game is strong and I'm not ashamed of it. Anyway, if anybody wants to come up, you're more than willing to, or more than welcome to do so.
Thank you for thinking I'm not an asshole. I am really.
Sometimes you are, but no.
Yeah, you know what though? I think that part of why I changed a lot is because I also became somebody who was getting bullied on this app quite a bit.
Yes.
And I started to see how it is and that it's not the person that I am, that I wouldn't talk to people like that, that I wouldn't be like that. And sometimes I do just have questions and I want to hear, the answer. I hear a wealth of knowledge and I appreciate everything. And this isn't kissing your ass.
No, I know. Look, I said at the very beginning of this, I don't know what you heard me say, and I'm going to be honest about what I said. I said there are times that I cannot be on a panel with Pug Lady. She talks over people. I talk over people. It doesn't work together, and there's times where she talks and we can't get in. I go, and sometimes she gets very emotional. I said, there's times where I've had problems. She's had problems with me. But you know what? You came to me and talked to me and apologized to me as a real fucking person and told me, hey, I've got some problems and I'm working on them. And I accepted that. I was like, yeah, I've got problems and I'm working on them.
And I appreciate that there's always something going on. There's always something stressing you out. And people just react.
Dude, my life on a general basis is extremely stressful. I live in a house where we're all disabled. My 22-year-old daughter is severely disabled, and she just almost passed away this last month, in the beginning of the month, because of the hospital screwing up. So it's been wonderful. In fact, she's sick again today, and we're scared about all of this because we don't know if it's going to last for a long time because the hospital screwed it up. So we're dealing with that. And she's 22 years old. She's already got a very rare disorder, which is wonderful. We're all neurodivergent, and my life is crazy.
Surgery. That's one of the hardest heart surgeries done, and it's stressful.
It's extremely stressful.
It doesn't matter how old they are.
No, and we struggle? Yeah, we struggle. Yeah, what?
Can you go to another get another?
But that's actually supposed to be. Listen to this. That's supposed to be the best hospital in the actual in all of Louisville because it's the teaching hospital. It's the college hospital.
Which one did you get to?
U of L. St. Mary's.
Really?
St. Mary's.
I like you.
4 times they misdiagnosed her with serotonin with no serotonin syndrome.
So what did you decide to do this time?
We went back. I kept going back to them. I went back to them. I talked to the administrators. I made them do it. The third doctor that came in was like, oh my God, I am so sorry that this has happened to you. And here's the thing, guys. I want to talk to you about this honestly for a moment because it's very important. For those of you that suffer from chronic pain or migraines or any of these things or on any type of SSRIs, I don't know if you know what SSRIs are, what they do, but they take care of the serotonin in your brain, and there are receptors. And if you do something, those receptors can be burned out and lots of shit goes wrong. Okay. My daughter's entire neurological system was shutting down. I was listening to my daughter while the man is trying to tell me that this is an anxiety attack, that my daughter was screaming at me, Mommy, I'm dying. And I'm a mom in a hospital that rode in with my daughter in an ambulance, and they're telling me that my daughter's just fine. So SSRIs affect your brain, everything in it.
Some people have more than the other.
Right. And so there's a thing called serotonin syndrome, and there's serotonin sensitivity. Who I can't see who it is. Let me see. Alicia, I don't think I'm going to do that right now just because of what we're doing, sweetheart. You know what? Maybe Mac and I can talk to you this weekend, if you don't mind, baby. Sorry. I don't want you to think I'm mad. We're going to talk about some things, and I don't want to make you up here, baby. I don't think it's a good time for you. It's just not something I want you to have you discuss. It'll be hard for you, and I don't want to do that. Okay. Okay. So, and I hope that didn't embarrass you.
Wasn't embarrassing. That was actually very kind.
Yeah. Like it's not because I'm ignoring you, and I didn't want you to think that. So SSRIs, yeah, they can ruin some people's lives. Doctors don't warn people about this. So this is what happened. My daughter knew the moment it happened what it was, because my daughter's autistic. All right. So she looks everything up, but however, she missed this, and I missed this, and my doctors apparently missed telling us this. So we take a medicine for our migraines, and we take a medicine for our chronic pain. Okay. And individually, we've been fine. We do have a serotonin, like my oldest daughter has a slight a sensitivity, but we never knew what it was until we've all had this incident happen. Now, something with this has happened to all of us now. So my daughter was at work, and she was having both, and she didn't know that she could not take them together. Within an hour of her taking that, my daughter was in an ambulance going to the hospital. Okay. Wow. We walked in there, and we told them that it was serotonin syndrome. Okay. Okay. So the first doctor, he just flushes her system. That's all he does. He flushes her system. He gives her something for whatever, and he tells her. Yeah, no, exactly. It was okay. So he does nothing. Okay, he does nothing. So we end up back, and this is over. I want you guys to understand. This is from June 28th to July 5th. Okay, so the first time we go in is June 28th. All right. So he sends her home. She feels better because her system is fine, but he did nothing to clear the serotonin. Okay. So the serotonin is still building up in her body, not to mention she already has it built high in her body to begin with. So
I was going to say, would that not come up in a, and I
don't know. I don't know. We have no idea how it didn't get caught. And this is one of the reasons why I'm very hurt with Jen. Jen was on the phone with me while all of this was happening, and she was telling me, don't worry, just get the test results and I'll help you through this. So my hurt from Jen and me leaving Jen had nothing to do with billboards. Okay. Okay. All right. So anyway, back to all this. So the first doctor just does that. And I think he sent her home with something or other, something very basic, because she couldn't take anything, right? She couldn't take anything that was really substantial, because now she's got the SSRIs. She can't ever take an SSRI ever again. So they send her home. She doesn't have her, she can't take her anxiety medication. She can't take her migraine medication, and she can't take her chronic pain medication. Oh, and by the way, she also can't use any of the medicinal marijuana that she uses through her vape. So where you're nothing. She can't do anything. Nothing.
That's actually terrifying.
Okay.
Because I know the anxiety stuff I'm on.
Right.
If I even miss a day, I'm going to be not just out to lunch.
Yep. Yep.
Terrible.
So we end up back there that night. Okay. Again, we get discharged. We go back that night. So 28th. No. So wait a minute. She goes 28th, 29th. And then is it what? The 30th and 28th is when she went in the first time. And they got her better. Second guy sends her home. Okay, no, she must have gone. She went a while for that. So that was happened. He flushed it all. So it literally took her to where she was going fine. Over the holiday weekend, she ends up, she calls the ambulance again, and she's telling my husband it's happening again. And everybody's telling her serotonin syndrome clears within 72 hours. Now, my oldest daughter takes to the internet. She finds out that not when you have, not when it's 2 SSRIs, and not when you have da-da-da-da-da, and Abigail has all of these things. So, funny thing, it can happen for up to a month. And if it goes untreated, she can what? She can die. So he gets her. He thinks the paramedic tells her that she's having a panic attack because, hey, guess what? All her vitals look normal. But my daughter's entire body, she has no control over it. None. None. Her legs are just kicking. Her brain is frying. It is horrid. Okay, go to them there in another ambulance. That's the third. This guy, no, yeah, we go in on the third and he just charges her on the fourth. So yeah, so this guy comes in there. He's a young guy, does no, absolutely none. The nurse tells me when she's screaming and that telling me that she's dying, that she's fine. It's just a panic attack. She's fine. Look at her vitals. She's fine. She does fine. She's fine. She's fine. So he doesn't even test her pee. He does nothing. Okay. And then my husband arrives and I said, Craig, he's not doing anything. I've asked for the charge nurse. I am livid. What the hell do we do here? Like I came back here because I guess I didn't think I didn't know what to do. We should have cleared. What are we doing? Like, it's just, we were so panicked. And this guy looks at my husband and he's like, well, the way that you treat serotonin syndrome is with Valium, which is a part of of how you treat serotonin syndrome. But there's a second part you need, dude, just so you know, jackass. And so you give her Valium. So I've given her a dose of Valium here. And I've written her a prescription for 3 of them to get her through the weekend so then she can make an appointment. Oh, but you know, it's a holiday. It's the holiday. So I don't know if there'll be a pharmacy open. And sends her home. Sends her home. Sends her home.
I mean, seriously.
Wait.
A silent city. Don't you ever say that ever again. Guess the Blanchards are more important than your own daughter. Way to go, Mom. How about you go F yourself? Don't ever say that to a mother, ever.
My daughter she doesn't feel good today. She's 22 years old, damn it. I always get her mixed up with in between the other ones. She's the littlest. Okay. But no, I was there for my daughter. I wasn't doing anything but working on my other stuff at home. When I was in that hospital, I was with my daughter. I didn't pull my daughter has a terminal freaking thing and all that shit. No, I didn't pull that. That's not my style. Don't even fuck it with me with that. My kids are my life. My grandson is the most important thing to me in my life. Now, here's what happens. My daughter ends up back in there on the 4th. She didn't even get a turnaround that time. 1, 2. We get back in there. This old doctor comes in. Now I'm outside trying to talk to my husband while they told me that's what happened. So that happens later. Hold on. Nope. This doctor comes in. I'm trying to tell my husband what's happening because I'm scared to death at this time. I just don't even know what to do. Why is this not happening? And the doctor, he sat down. I went to the bathroom. I didn't know he was actually going to sit. I didn't know he was the doctor. I saw him in there, but I didn't know who he was yet. And I guess he sat down and had a conversation with my daughter while I was in the bathroom and talking to my husband. And I went in there to talk with her, and he's sitting there holding her hand. And I'm like, what is going on? And he says, are you her mom? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, I just want to really apologize for what's going on with your daughter. And I was like, excuse me? And he says, because they should have caught this. And I said, yeah, I'm aware, sir. And he goes, no, you don't understand. It's more serious than that. He goes, because all these doctors need to do is do a simple reflex test. And it will show you by how the way the muscles are moving in her legs, whether or not she has it or not. That's not a pee test, a blood test. That's all they needed to do. They ran cardio on her, EKG, I'm telling you. The first guy tried. He just didn't know what to do. The second guy was an arrogant ass. And the third doctor actually knew what he was doing. And then the pharmacy screwed up. So my daughter ended up back there one more time where I was treated like shit. One more time telling me that I didn't know what I was talking about.
It makes such a difference when you get a doctor that will listen.
Her legs were just, she was laying there, guys, and her legs would just go. She was telling me like she was sweating, but she wasn't in a fever. It is so bad. I've never been through anything worse in my life, and I had to bury my mom. Okay? Can you imagine if my daughter could have died anywhere between that period of time because they didn't treat it properly?
I think, Michelle, you should call for a patient advocate.
Oh, I did. Oh, here's the one thing here's the craziest part of it. Oh my God, if her almost almost forgot the craziest part of it. So here we are. We're in that hospital with the doctor that actually figures this out. Okay. All right. Do you know what happens as I'm sitting in the waiting room? Because when you go in with her in the ambulance, you have to go. I have to go and wait into the waiting room. Well, they check her in the back room. Then they process everything and they either bring her out or they get her a room and I can go back with her. Who's asking to come up right now? I'm kind of keeping it closed because of this. No, not till I'm done with my daughter's story. So
23.
22. She's 22. She's autistic. Yeah, she's 22. She's autistic. Yep, that's the whole reason why I was allowed to ride with her in the thing. I'm her proxy, and we are getting the papers for it so that I can help her because she does not make the decisions. She doesn't understand. She doesn't know all of this, and she needs help talking about it, and she can't always tell. So that was the other thing. The doctor was like, I need to hear from her. I said, do you understand she can't answer you right now? Can you not? Are you not understanding she's not really coherent in there? Right. Hello, I'm her mom. He's like, I need you to step out. And I was like, buddy. Oh, buddy. Mm-hmm. I said it. I said, no. And he's like, ma'am, I need you to step out. Why don't you just step out for a minute? We just need to ask her a couple of questions. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go call my husband. That's what I'm going to do. I'll step out, but I'm going to, So he sat there and he's like, this should have never been missed, but these doctors don't think of it. They think of all the fancy shit, or they chalk it up to it's in your fucking head. Meanwhile, you assholes missed it by a simple reflex test.
For so many years, and finally he had a doctor that said, let's just do a workup, and they saved his life or he wouldn't be here right now. So sometimes it just takes an extra few minutes that they don't want to take.
I filed a complaint with the hospital. I talked to the charge nurse. Oh, here was the funny thing. Okay, so the doctor takes all this time with her. He does all of this. He figures it out. All right. The night that Abigail went in the first time, it was busy, but it wasn't a crazy night. Okay. I mean, the second time when she went with the asshole. So she's doing okay now. Yes. I'll be right there in a minute. The time she goes in with the asshole, she goes and what am I thinking about? He just totally broke my concentration about it. It's important. Oh, there was a gunshot or a pew pew to the head that came on 4th of July, guys. And he still took the time and found it.
Was he older or younger?
Older. He's old school.
Yeah, so
he sat down, he did all the things, he checked all her limbs. I watched yep. I mean, he did the whole thing because that's what doctors used to do.
My son, his doctor was older, and he finally.
Yeah, I'm coming. He was not be here, so. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna pop back off. I was gonna talk some more, but I kind of got into that, and I really do want to go lay down. But I had some things to say because I will not be bullied into talking to any person anywhere at any time. I don't know it to anyone. If you don't like something I said, okay. If you like something I said, fabulous. Sit down, have it a while, stay a while. Hey, if you don't like something I said, sit down and have a stay and ask some questions. You might think that maybe I'm not the same person you thought I was when you walked through the door. Okay? But I will not be bullied or forced or shamed or stalked by phone calls, Christy Blanchard, to shut up or not tell my story. This is my story. You made it my story. See, that's the problem. Damn, shouldn't have done that. Just so that I know the truth. Oh, hey, baby. Hey, Murder of Crows is here. Baby, I love you. You're going to miss me, though. I'm just going to get out of here. I'm going to go lay down with my hubby. All right, guys. Like, seriously, though, thanks, Wicked, for staying. Pug, I'm sorry. And B, if I knocked you off with the story. Yeah, tell her that, my heart is, okay.
I think she's just overwhelmed.
She is.
Okay when she calms down. She's just overwhelmed.
She's going to be okay. She'll be okay. All right. So, guys, I'm going to sign out. Have a good one from the Good Wives, serving up true crime, one dish at a time. And, hey, keep watching because I might be back. Told you I was spicy today. Shouldn't have picked the day. Hold on. Let me end that one. Bye, guys.